Hi everybody, my name is Beth and I have been using Young Living essential oils for going on about 4 months. And I consider myself to be a skeptic. Still consider myself to be a skeptic, even though I have these oils incorporated into my daily life for the last few months now. And that's why I entitled this video Skeptics 101, because I really thought that there were a lot of people out there that could benefit from hearing the perspective of somebody who came into this not entirely sure that I bought it, to be honest. So at any rate, my background is as a nurse in medicine. I was an ICU nurse for 10 plus years, and I now use my skills and knowledge in my job as a stay-at-home mom of 3 really cool kids. And I also work in the summer times as a camp nurse at a sleepaway camp up in the San Bernardino Mountains in California. I start with my oil story, which there is a much longer version of this story, but really it begins with the fact that I needed to address a hormone balance in my life. And additionally, was actually pretty desperate to get a good night's sleep. So I was at the point where I was willing to try pretty much anything to get a good night's sleep. And I had a friend whom I trusted and really adore, who had been using essential oils, Young Living essential oils, and had been talking about it. And actually, rather than going to a class, I was, I guess, a little intimidated by the concept of going to a class. I didn't want to be sold anything, and I really just wanted to hear about the oils themselves. So I just started texting her while she was at classes and events and asking her the questions that I wanted answers for. And she was real patient with me and kind. And eventually I just got over myself and went to a class. And that same day, I bought my starter kit. In addition, I actually also started with purchasing cedar wood and Endoflex that same first month, because I am a little bit on the impatient side and I couldn't wait to get my kit and just get started. So I really just did a little research and dove right in. And what I want to start by telling you is really what essential oils are. So what's interesting is each time I read about it, I learn about it, and I look things up or I talk to somebody or I go to an event, I really do learn a little something each time. And I recently learned that essential oils aren't actually oils. They are liquid that has in it, many aromatic compounds which can be beneficial. So to start off with, they're not an oil, but they are really helpful. And they are talked about as the lifeblood of the plant, okay? Where the plant gets all of its immunity from. And they really do have a lot of power and potency. And this part of this power comes from the fact that the molecules, the aromatic compounds and the molecules in essential oils are extremely small. There are 40 million trillion, sounds like a joke, but 40 million trillion essential oil molecules in a single drop. And this is part of what gives them their characteristics that enable them to cross that blood-brain barrier. And if any of you are in medicine or have knowledge about that, you understand what that concept means. And really, for those of you that don't, what that really is about is the body protects the brain with a barrier that only certain things can cross. And this is just the body's own way of protecting an organ that is so vital to its function, right? So the size of these molecules are what make it capable and possible for it to cross that blood-brain barrier and have an effect on those glands and those places in your brain that can really address certain problems. So the second question for me is why Young Living? And if I'm being really honest, I'll tell you that I didn't research other companies before I started using essential oils. I had been complaining about my sleep, to one of my besties, and she had been using Rutavala for a long time and sings its praises, and I really poo-pooed it. I didn't give it much thought, and I started just to become increasingly more desperate. And I decided I was going to go and see somebody and address my hormone levels, my hormone balance, because I knew based on some blood testing that, I was at the point where those things were off, and I really needed to address it in order to get a good night's sleep. And so I went and I bought a diffuser at just a name brand retailer, and one of my friends dropped off a bottle of frankincense from another company. And I put that frankincense in the diffuser and nearly blew my family out of the house. They were like, it was way too strong for them. It was way too much. And it wasn't a great first experience, actually. And when I told my friend about that, her description, I think it really spoke to me. It was really apt. She said, it's like giving somebody who's never tasted chocolate before a gas station bar of Mars bars or something like that, versus giving somebody a Godiva chocolate. It's entirely, two different experiences. And she also encouraged me to start with different oils, right? To start with buying a kit, trying those oils out, looking it up. And to be honest with you, I was just so desperate for a night's sleep. If I was willing to spend in excess of, let's say, $1,500 to $2,000 to do the hormone testing and the doctor's visits, because my insurance wasn't going to cover it, that I certainly would be willing to spend the money on a premium starter kit. Because worst comes to worst, I was going to be out $160 if this didn't pan out for me. So I went ahead and jumped in, not really knowing much about Young Living. And then backpedaled and did a whole bunch of research and took a huge sigh of relief, actually, that Young Living was the company I chose, because they are the oldest essential oil company with production techniques that I know now I can really trust and that I can put my voice and passion behind. And I was really, the couple of facts that actually really impressed me, one is that they own their own farms. And this to me is critical because the location of where it grows, how these plants are grown, is all really connected to their potency and their viability as a product. And owning your own farm means that you can have control over the production, the growth, the farming, the harvest of these products. And then their distillation procedure, their seed to seal promise, there was just, vitally important in terms of my ability to speak on behalf of these products. I wouldn't be here and talking to you if I didn't actually believe that these products are rigorously tested with third-party testing and exactly what they say they are, 100% therapeutic. So in my research, also, one of the things that kind of bugged me, to be honest with you, is the fact that all of these essential oils that you can find in grocery stores, natural food places, are labeled 100% pure or 100% something, and in reality, they may have as little as 5% of an essential oil in them, and that actually disturbs me. So I did my own further research and figured out that I had made the right choice, which, phew, honestly, I was, pretty happy to hear that, and really actually impressed with the honest labeling on the Young Living products. So I want to start by giving you a little information about how do you use these things. You've heard about them. They're out there. People are talking about them. The buzz is out. So how do I use them? So there are several ways. You can use them topically. They rapidly absorb into your skin. You can put them where it matters, where you need it most. I will say that I do use a little bit of intuition when it comes to this. I tend to go right to my Facebook group on essential oils and put it in the search bar if I'm looking to discover something or try a new oil see how and what people are talking about it, and then try it for myself. And then the next thing is, in terms of where you put it, our VitaFlex point. So a lot of you have heard of reflexology, that there are points in our body that through our nervous system are connected to other points in our body. Many of you have had a pretty awesome reflexology foot massage. So in the data out there, in the graphics out there, you can find information about VitaFlex points, about where to place these oils on your feet that corresponds with dealing with the issues like, for me, like sleep and hormones. So VitaFlex points is one important thing in order to really have a good general knowledge of how to use these products. Next is inhalation, which is an important way to get these aroma molecules into your limbic system, which helps control a lot of these issues that we're trying to deal with. And inhalation is just putting a drop of the oils onto your fingers, then, rubbing it in a circle on your hand, and then placing your hands over your nose and mouth and inhaling deeply. That's one way. Another really popular way is by diffusing into the air. So using a diffuser, placing a drop into the diffuser, following those instructions, and then pressing go and letting it, go into the air, which you can do alone, you can do in and of by itself, or combine it with other methods. So another important point in terms of using essential oils is using carrier oils. So if you find that your skin is sensitive, you definitely may want to start with using carrier oils, using an oil like coconut oil, grapeseed oil, olive oil, and you can mix them in the palm of your hand prior to applying, or you can mix it in another bottle prior to applying, and do it that way. I find that I really like these oils neat. I want it straight on me, not mixed with anything. I do have some environmental allergies, but I have not had the experience where I have been sensitive to anything. I would suggest that you start with carrier oils and start with a small amount and go from there. My favorite methods are kind of doing it all. I like, if I really want to deal with an issue, I like to use the bottom of my feet, apply to the bottom of my feet. I like to diffuse, and I like to inhale. I kind of do all three, but that's really up to you. So some of the precautions I would give you are not to put it directly into your eyes or your ears, because those are mucous membranes, or any other mucous membrane for that matter, because that is going to be an area that's too sensitive and it's going to cause you some problems, or could potentially cause you some problems. And let's just jump right in and let me tell you a little bit about each oil, how I use them and what they're used for. And these are the oils that come with your premium starter kit. So to begin with, there's lavender, which a lot of people talk about as the Swiss Army knife of essential oils, supports through all types of stress, really is the most popular oil, in my opinion, in my experience, to be used in sleep blends or for sleep. This is a part of my nightly sleep regimen, as well as 2 of my 3 kids use this at night for sleep. I diffuse it, and I put it on the bottom of my feet. And I just adore lavender. It's pretty much everywhere I go. Lavender comes with me. So next in the premium starter kit is peppermint, which most commonly and popularly is used for digestion and intestinal health. It does have the bonus of, helping to curb appetite. And in my experience, it's in a lot of actually recipes that you can find on Pinterest or on our Oil Bar Facebook page for headaches. And that my story with that, getting to the Skeptic thing, is I really started using lavender and cedarwood for sleep. And after about a week, instead of waking up, my goal was, and I told my girlfriends, my goal was to get to 4:30 in the morning without waking up. That was my goal. To go to bed my normal time, not between 9:30 and 10 o'clock, and get all the way to 4:30. And I did that in my first week of using the essential oils. That happened for me. And then I pushed that goal back, and I wanted to get to 5:30, 5:15, and I did. And now I'm sleeping in until about 6 a.m. Most days. So that was a huge success for me, right? Like, I was very excited, and the most common thing you could hear me say at that point was that I didn't really care why it worked. I didn't really care what it was that was getting me to sleep, but that what mattered to me is that I was sleeping. So I kind of went along still sounding a little skeptic. And one day I'm lying on the couch because I have a headache, and I did my normal routine of taking my allergy medicine, taking some Motrin, having a cup of caffeine, and lying down in a dark room. And my headache wasn't going away. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, should I go grab those oils in my kit and take a look and see what this is all about, if it's really going to help? I bet it won't, but let me just try it. And I stuck just with looking up what was in my kit and what I could use for a headache. I mixed myself some Panaway and peppermint, and I inhaled it. I diffused it around me, and lo and behold, I felt better. It had been hours since I'd tried to take medicine, and it wasn't helping. And really, the peppermint and Panaway is now in a small little bottle in my purse, and it's something that I take everywhere I go. So I still, even after sleeping well, even after getting rid of my night sweats, even after feeling better with my headache, I'm still in a place where it's hard for me to say that they work all the time. I still have to prove it to myself each time that I address an issue. So moving on through the kit, the next one that I want to talk about a little bit is lemon. And some of these bottles are going to look a little bit different because now the premium starter kits come with the awesome Vitality line, which is labeled differently, but is the same essential oil inside the Vitality bottle. So this lemon oil is not acidic. I do want to give you the heads up that it is photosensitive. So if you're putting it anywhere on your skin and then going and walking out into the sun, that's not recommended. You can burn. So all of these citrus oils are photosensitive. So be careful with that. Lemon is uplifting. It is what I put in my diffuser. It just smells good, man. I put it in my diffuser actually with peppermint or with Panaway in the mornings. And that's what I'm usually diffusing as I'm getting emails and folding laundry while waiting for the kids to wake up and get my day started. And it should only be put in glass bottles. You can't put these citrus oils in plastic. So my next obsession when it comes to these essential oils is I put my lime Vitality, my tangerine Vitality in my water every day, because I'm somebody who you pretty much have to hold down and pour water in my mouth to get me to drink enough water. So I started using my SodaStream carbonated water, and I put a little Vitality in it. Lime Vitality or tangerine Vitality in my my glass water bottle, and that's what I drink. And I find myself very much more likely to actually drink what I need to drink during the day because it's got flavor. And I actually used to buy La Croix water and other flavored waters, and I've stopped purchasing it because I use the water for my SodaStream, like I said, and my Vitality oils, and I'm super happy with that and getting the benefits that come along with it. So next is Thieves, which is an oil that a lot of people say is that gateway oil. It's what a lot of people initially really attach to. I did not open this oil up for months in my kit. And I know that people talk about the use of Thieves for immune support, for its, potential antimicrobial properties. Thieves is, Young Living has a cleaning line with Thieves, and my cleaning lady had actually told me that she has a lot of clients who who used the Thieves Cleaner, and she loves it. So she's now using it for us as well as I am. But Thieves is interesting because, like I said, I hadn't opened it up for the first couple months that I had it in my kit. It just kind of sat there. And my son was sick, woke up one Monday morning with a croupy cough. And let me start off by saying that I firmly believe in the combination, in the use of integrative medicine, the Eastern and Western techniques. I would highly recommend that if anybody have a medical situation that they want to address, that they start off by consulting their physician. This is really, really important. None of what I'm telling you is to replace the advice of a medical professional. This is about empowering you to move forward with your own wellness and empowering you to do it in a really great way, really healthy way for you and for your family. So at any rate, my son woke up sick one morning, and he had a croupy cough. And so I gave him his dose of steroids per the advice of the physician that was caring for him, and put him on the couch and quickly said to myself, maybe I should just try these essential oils for him. Still, truly skeptical of what potential benefit might be there. So I texted my oily friends, got some recommendations. I put some RC, which is another oil in the kit, really beneficial for respiratory issues. I add this in when I'm having trouble with my allergies on top of my daily allergy medication. When I have issues, I inhale some RC, and I use that as part of my own allergy regimen. But I rubbed a little RC on his throat, rubbed some Thieves on his chest, I rubbed some Thieves on his feet. I made him some Thieves tea, which was the ticket for him. Faster than the steroids could take effect, he reported that he felt better. So this illness is an illness that my kids have experienced over the years many times. And I kind of know how it goes. And generally this is a minimum of 3 to 4 days out of school, with those days being days that they can't tolerate activity. And clearly this kid was sick, and he was sick the entire day on the couch. He is a high energy kid. He was 8 hours on that couch, so he really was not feeling good. I did my whole Thieves regimen with him in the morning. I did it in the evening, and then I did it again the next morning. He was back at school on that third day. I kept him on the second day because I felt uncomfortable unleashing him unto the world. Although he looked great, I kept him on from 2 days, and that third day he went back to school, and he never again fell ill. He didn't have that 4 or 5 in the evening spike in temperature, or really looking punky like a lot of kids tend to do when they get a virus and they get sick. I was actually really impressed with the progression of this illness with him and how quickly he got better. So I'll tell you that from my experience, Thieves is going to be a part of my family regimen when it comes to illness going forward. So next in the kit is Copaiba, which is another one that I honestly didn't open up for a whole long time, and then I just kind of threw it in the diffuser, and nobody really minded it, so I kept on doing that. Copaiba is known, to help with digestion and immune health. And what I do with it is I put it in what I now call my pain blend, the thing that I use and give for muscle spasms or occasional muscle aches. It is known as a magnifier. So put it in for those recipes that you really want to step it up a little bit. And then next, I want to move on to most of those oils that I just talked about are all single oils. Besides RC, that's a blend. Okay, so it's more than one oil in it. And in RC, that I already talked about is cypress, spruce, and eucalyptus. So really sort of uplifting and clears out those passages. Next in this group of this premium starter kit is Panaway, which I'm looking at my little list because I don't have these memorized. Is wintergreen, helichrysum, clove, and peppermint. And honestly, Panaway is something that I just put in my morning diffuser because it's uplifting. Those mint, I find that those mint and those citrus oils are really uplifting for me when I need it. It is very stimulating. It supports muscles, bones, and ligaments. It's got that icy warm sensation when you put it directly on your skin. Some people find that they need to use a carrier oil with it. I just put it directly on. I like them neat, like I said. And then next is purification. So this oil was one of the first I broke out in my kit because somebody told me that it helps with odors, and I put it in the stinky sneakers is where I put it, of my boys. And honestly, I had washed my son's sneakers twice on hot to get the stink out, and it did not help. I put a couple of drops of this in each of his shoes, and it absolutely took the odor away. I gotta tell you, I was stunned. I sort of did it thinking, well, this isn't gonna work, and it totally did, and I was absolutely, completely impressed. So purification is something I should put in my car for when all the boys are piled in my car, when I pick my son up, after golf or whatever activity that they're doing, or fencing, or whatever activity that they're doing. Actually, come to think of it, this should go in the fencing bag with him every day, because that is one stinky workout room that those kids during that activity. But it's also used in a lot of bug repellent recipes. So there's that, and in the blend is citronella, lemongrass, lavender, rosemary, and tea tree oil. And then the other thing I actually just want to mention about thieves, besides its immune support, is its potential for oral health. There is a Thieves toothpaste that's on Young Living. I have not personally tried it. A lot of people swear by it. I haven't gone there just yet, but it is definitely on my mind as a potential option to give my family an oral health option that is natural. And I know a lot of people are looking for that. So that's another thing that Thieves can be used for. Next is Digize, which has tarragon, anise, ginger, fennel, lemongrass, patchouli, peppermint, and juniper. So Digize, by its name, I think you could probably figure out, is used for digestive support. A lot of people talk about not liking the way it smells. It doesn't really bother me. But you can just rub it directly on your belly for, aiding in help with digestion. A lot of people might put it in tea. But that is Digize. And next, the bonus oil that comes in your starter kit is Stress Away. And Stress Away is fantastic. So my story with Stress Away is that my son had a moment while we were working on a project where he just kind of flipped out a little and got definitely really anxious, my 11-year-old. And I just looked at him, I'm like, dude, do you want to try Stress Away? And he said yes. So he put a little bit in his palm, he inhaled. It helped him. He was able, instead of having to walk away from the project and come back to it hours later, which is normally what my advice is in that situation, is he was able to continue on and do it. So for whatever reason that it helped him, it did. So I'm behind it because it's good for him, to get through these moments, to have another way to get through these moments. So I'm sitting there, and of course, because he's using it, I'm using it, right? So I put a little on my hand, and I inhaled it as well, even though I wasn't feeling any stress. And we finished up the project, and a little while later, I'm in my kitchen, and my extremely skeptical teenager was with me, and I'm like, I'm so tired today. Like, I didn't know what was going on with me. I'm like, I think I'm going to lay down on the couch for a few minutes. And my skeptical teenager was like, oh, I bet you're diffusing lavender. That's why you're so tired. And I was like, dude, no, stop it. And I just went to go lie down. And on my way to the couch, I thought, I did just use Stress Away. What's in Stress Away? And in Stress Away is actually cedarwood and lavender, which put me to bed every night. And it totally occurred to me that that's probably what was happening. And that's why I had this feeling of being tired come over me. And so I got to say, Stress Away is in my everyday oil bag. It is one of the things that comes with me wherever I go. So there are other things that come with your premium starter kit, lots of fun things. There's some sample bottles, some dram bottles. There's also a couple of packets of Ningxia Red, which is actually really tasty. And a lot of people are using as kind of their starter shot in the morning. They're 2 ounces that they take in the morning, helps with energy, and is really one of the best antioxidants on the market. Its main ingredient, which is wolfberry. And really, that's really the Skeptic's skinny on this starter kit. So I just want to encourage you guys to jump in there, get started, and then reach out, ask questions. You know, reach your friends, your early friends through Facebook, and whoever introduced this starter kit to you, just reach out to them and ask them questions, because right now I am 4 months in, like I said. I have had 4 months of consistent good sleep, and I cannot explain to you, tell you enough what that has done for me in my everyday life. I recently just asked my teenager, who is completely and 100% skeptical about these oils. I asked him if he thought that there was a difference in the way I was, in my ability to be patient, being quick to the trigger on anger, which, to be honest with you, if you haven't slept in 4 or 5 years, you know, it's understandable, right? And he did communicate to me that he thought there was a distinct difference in the way I was able to handle the everyday stressors in life, getting out of the house on time, you know, the things that they were or were not doing. And, you know, that in and of itself is absolutely and completely priceless. So I have a huge debt to Young Living and these oils, in that it's made a really big impact on me, my life, and my everyday wellness in just the sleep alone. If nothing else, what I have gotten from the fact that I have slept every night for 4 months is completely and utterly priceless. And I really just want to share that. And I want you guys to know that that comes from a place of just honest passion. So thanks for listening, and I hope you learned a little something. And have a great day, everybody.